Hello, my loves. Welcome to your workout of the day. I've got a spicy one for you. We're going for strength. We're going for balance. We're going for core burn, of course. You're going to need a set of dumbbells. I'm using 5 pounds. I also have a set of 1 pound ankle weights, and I'm going to use a yoga block for a little bit of alignment and feedback today. So grab everything that you need, get yourself a soft surface, a small space to move, grab water, and let's get into it. All right, we're gonna start off on our backs today. A little bit of shoulder bridge to kick off some core engagement. Grab your yoga block if you have one, and come all the way down to your back, planting your feet down into the mat, hip width apart, knees right over your hips, or not right over your hips, but in alignment with your hips and over your ankles. That block, if you have one, is going to come in between your thighs. If you don't have one here, I just want you to think of inner thigh activation. Think of turning on those inner thighs. That inner thigh engagement is going to activate your glutes automatically. You're going to bring your arms down by your sides to start off with, and you're just going to take a shoulder press up to your bridge. Lift up, squeeze your glutes at the top. Don't let your ribs flare open. Find that exhale and that core connection. Then bone by bone, just lower it back down. We're just starting here. You know, I like to start off with a little bit of core connection, just lowering down bone by bone and then lifting back up. Connecting into our core, sending focus to your spine, thinking of supporting the spine as we move, and keep squeezing on that block just enough to keep it from falling out of your thighs. In 2, we're gonna hold it up at the top. And 1, keep your hips lifted. Keep those triceps pressing down into the mat. You're gonna lift your heels up. Feel your calves fire up, then lower down and drop your hips. Press it up. Lift your heels, come to that calf raise, lower down and drop your hips. Press. Come up onto those toes, lower down with control and release for 3. Press, tap, and lower. Last 2. Keep breathing. And 1. Hold it all up at the top. Just drop your hips and press it back up. You just got that engagement of your inner thighs to keep that block where it's at. Don't let it fall. And that engagement of your inner thighs is causing your glutes to light up even more as you send your hips up. If you want a little bit more of a challenge here as we finish this out, as we burn it out, you can bring your arms up overhead and bring much more focus into your core. Again, we're not letting those ribs splay open at the top. You're not letting that flaring action happening. You're keeping your core nice and strong. You're keeping everything knit in nice and tight. You've got 4. Lift and lower. Those heels are still lifted. You're up on your toes. Last 3. 2 more. Energy through those fingertips if your arms are up overhead. Hold it up at the top for your last 1. We just lift an inch and lower an inch. You go up and down. Little lift up, little drop down for 4. Keep breathing for 2. Here's 2, there we go. And 1. I promise I can count. Lower it all down. Oof, but that burn sometimes makes your brain not work. Set that block off to the side. Pull your knees into your chest. Give your ankles a little circle out in either direction. And then roll yourself up to seated. We're gonna make our way to standing. You're gonna bring yourself to all fours. Oh, you know what? While we're here, let's just take a few cat-cows. Can never miss an opportunity to take a few. Press that floor away and send your gaze up. Belly falls, lower back bend. And then send your spine up. Maybe take a little press back and forth. Drop the belly. And expand through your spine. And then bring it back to neutral. Tuck your toes, press your hips up and back to a downward facing dog. We'll take a little walk out here. Just pedaling through the feet before we stand it up. Static down dog stretch. Send those feet down to the mat, those heels down to the mat, and then tiptoe yourself up to the center of your mat. Take a gentle forward fold and roll yourself up to standing. We meet at the top here. You're gonna grab one of your dumbbells. Like I said, I'm using a 5. You can use whatever works best for you today. You're gonna bring that weight to heart center. If this ever feels too heavy for you, you can always drop the weight. You could always add more if you want more. We're gonna start off with our focus on our right side. We're gonna do right leading today. Your feet are gonna be wider than your hip width. Maybe about the length of one of your legs. If you have long legs like me, maybe a little bit shorter. You're gonna bend into your right knee, send your right glute back, take a nice low side lunge, and then press it back up. We're just starting here with some side lunges, pressing in to your right foot, sending all of your weight down into your right heel. Sending that right glute back in space. Think of hinging at your hips and sitting nice and low into that right glute for 4. 3 more and we add on. Just bend in. Last one. Adding on here. You hold it down, then press up. Then you're hinging at your hips, keeping your spine in neutral, just to forward fold. You're bringing your back to like a tabletop positional turn so that you can see. You're just hinging here at your hips to bring your heart parallel to the floor. Then you're using your core. You're thinking of cinching that abdomen in to lift yourself back up. It's not in the back. It's with your core. We're not using posterior here. You're using anterior muscles. And then you sink back down into that right side. You press up, you hinge it forward. Your chest comes parallel to the floor. Then you use your core to press back up and sink low into the right. Keep going, keep breathing. You hinge forward and you lunge it to the right. Core is on to bring you back up to standing, and then you sit it nice and low. Forward fold. And sit nice and low in that right side. You take a little hamstring stretch across both legs, and then sit into that right glute. You've got 4. Hinge. Last 3, sit nice and low. And then hinge forward for 2. And 1. Now sit it low. Hold that side lunge. You're gonna pull your left toes in, tap at the bottom, then send it long, anchor into that left foot and press it up. Side lunge, left toes tap in, extend and press. You can start to pick up that pace a little bit if you're feeling confident, if you're feeling that core activation. Otherwise, I want you to keep it nice and slow and connected. Taking what you want for yourself, taking what you need for yourself. Sink it low for 4. Pull, tap, extend. Last 3. Tap and press. 2 more. And 1. Ooh. And release. Shake it out. Amazing job. We've got all of that on the other side. We'll take a little forward fold first and just walk the knees out. You may feel some back muscles here lighting up. We'll take a nice big reach up overhead and then pull the elbows back, heart forward, and release. All right, we've got all of that on the other side. Reset yourself, grab water if you need. Whew. I'm already getting that heart rate up. I am feeling that spice. I am feeling that burn. Hopefully you are as well. We are gonna take all of that into the left side now. So bringing that weight to heart center, if that is what you used before. And then you're gonna sink it nice and low into that left glute and then press it back up. Legs are nice and wide. You sink it low, you press it up. Drop down into that left glute and then squeeze to lift it back up. Sink it low, you extend through your right leg and press. Sink and press. Beautiful. You're sending that right glute, that left glute, we already did the right side. You're sending the left glute back in space. We're gonna add on that forward hinge is coming in 3. Last 2. And 1. Now sink it low, press up. You forward fold, find extension across both of your legs, and then lift it back up. Sink nice and low into that left glute. You press it up, and then at the top, you take that forward fold and press. Your back stays flat when you fold here, like you're creating a little table with your back. You hinge forward, you press up, you send it to the side. Beautiful. Keep it going. You're hinging at those hips, and then you're contracting with your core to lift it all back up. Then you sit low into that left glute and press. Hinge it forward, lift it up, sit it low and press. Give me 2 more sets here. My hair keeps getting stuck in my chapstick today. Last one, but it's so dry here. There's no way around it. All right, now take it nice and low. You tap those right toes in, you tap it back out, anchor into the right foot and press it back up. Sit it low, pull in, tap out and lift. Beautiful. You're crushing it. We're almost out of our standing section. I personally feel like standing is the most as far as cardio goes. It requires the most from you cardiovascularly. Obviously, we've got full body going. You've got 3. Last 2, and we're out. And 1. Ooh. That's the spice. There it is. Forward folds and release. Heel toe those feet together and walk it out. Whew. All right. Roll yourself back up to standing. We'll take that stretch one more time, that big reach up overhead, and then pull the elbows back behind your ribs, send your heart forward. Work out that back. We're gonna take it down to the mat now. Bringing yourself down. Ooh, my ankle's all, it's a little cracklies. We're gonna take it down to all fours here. And all that you need for yourself is a set of ankle weights if you're using those. I like to just throw them on at the beginning of my workouts and then just let it go. So you're gonna bring yourself to all fours. Bring your knees under your hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders. And then I want you to walk your hands one palm distance ahead of where they are. We're gonna take a little tricep squeeze to lower our elbows down to the mat and then press it back up. Find extension through your right leg. Squeeze your inner thigh to bend and tuck your right leg behind your left, and then reach it back up. Set it down, back to center. Then you take that tricep press down and back up. Find length through your right leg. Squeeze your inner thigh. Tuck, reach it long, plant it back at center. You take it down, lift it up, reach it long, and tuck. Extend and bring it back to center. Find your little flow here. Find length through the back of your right leg. Then squeeze your inner thigh, tuck, extend, and bring it back in. Then you lower down to those elbows and press it up. Reach, tuck, extend, and send it down. You've got 2 more sets. After this last one, we start to put it together. And what I mean by that is you're gonna find length through your right leg, find that tuck behind your left, and come down to your forearms at the same time. Then you press into your palms and lengthen back out. Down to the forearms, tuck, press up, and lengthen. Send your gaze down to the mat, in between your palms. Think of lifting up from your hamstring, from the back of your knee, and coming down with control. Press up for 3. Lower down with control. Last 2. Reach. And 1. Hold it nice and long. You're gonna come down to your left forearm and bring your right palm underneath your shoulder. Flex your foot and curl your leg to a 90-degree bend. Just keep that flex. Pull in and press up. Pull in and donkey kick up. Bring the knees back together and press that leg up. Let it burn. You've got 4. Nice and slow and controlled. Press that floor away with your left palm. Press down for 2 and 1 and release. Ooh. Yeah, send your hips back. Take a nice little child's pose. Reach your fingertips forward. Let it all go. All right, we have all of that on the other side. I will give you the view here so you can see what's happening. We're resetting on hands and knees, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and then you walk your hands out just a little bit, maybe like 1 palm's distance in front of where they were, so that you can safely come down to those forearms without getting it into your lower back. Then you press it up to your palms. Find length through your left leg this time. Squeeze your inner thigh, tuck your left leg behind your right. Press it back up, lengthen out, and bring it back down to the mat. Then you come down to those forearms and you press it back up. Find length. Tuck, extend, back to center, down to the forearms, and press it back up. You've got length. Tuck. Find that extension, plant it back down, and squeeze your triceps. Your back is gonna help you out too. Find strength posterior, press up and lengthen out. Don't let your heart sneak forward. I'm noticing that as I move, my body naturally wants to shift back over my wrists. And you want to keep your hips over your knees. That is the key here. You've got 3, squeeze, extend, press it down. 2 more. Keep breathing. Down to those forearms. Last one, and we put it together. Now hold it all up. You find that tuck and come down to the forearms, and then you press into your palms and lengthen out. Down to the forearms, tuck, press and extend. Lower, tuck, lift, lengthen, down and up. For 3. In 2, we come down to that forearm. And 1. Bring it to center. You come down to your right forearm. Your left palm comes underneath your shoulder. You flex your foot, you press it up, and you lower down. You just find that 90-degree donkey kick and pull it in. Press and pull. Think of pressing that forearm down into the mat to lift your heart up and away from the floor. You press and pull. Let that glute burn out for 4, 3, press. Last 2. And 1. And release. Ooh, my goodness. Send those hips back. Take a child's pose. Reach your fingers forward. Maybe your knees come as wide as the mat. Take what you need for yourself. We've got a little bit more lower body before we get into our arms and our core to finish it out. So we are going to start on our left side, and we're gonna focus on our right. So our left side is gonna be down on the mat. Let's come all the way down to our triceps and make a little pillow for your head with your hand. Grab your block and then extend your bottom leg nice and long. So extend that left leg nice and long. And then take a 90-degree bend with your right leg and bring it out to the side so that your knee is right in line with your hip. You've got this 90-degree bend here, length through your bottom leg. Lift up your right leg and bring that block down to the floor and then set your knee on top of it. This is gonna be your starting point here. You're gonna squeeze your inner thigh on your left leg and brace your core nice and tight. Planting your right palm into the mat in front of your rib cage. You're gonna strengthen your whole body, engage every muscle in your body so that you can lift that right leg up and send it nice and long, 45-degree angle, squeeze that outer thigh. Then use your core to release it back to the block and squeeze your left inner thigh to lift up and lower down. Find length through your right leg. That core is gonna keep your body from wobbling around. Squeeze your inner thigh to lift and lower. You press it nice and long, then pull it in and set it down. Lift and lower. Lengthen out. Release back to the block. Squeeze your inner thigh and release for 4. Lots of core activation here to keep your body stable. Squeeze and lift. Last 2. Reach and pull. Lift and lower. Last 1. Oh my goodness. Now just lift and lower. Squeeze that left inner thigh and release. Lift and release with control. That right knee is just anchoring into that block. You're squeezing your inner thigh to lift and lower for 4, 3, little burner coming in 2, and 1, and release. Now press yourself up to your forearm. And if you have a block, you can bring it in between your feet. If you don't have a block, I want you squeezing your inner thighs together as tight as you can, like you've got one long leg here. Or I want you holding that block as tight as you can. You're gonna lengthen out, nice and long here, pressing into that forearm. Reach your right arm up overhead. We're gonna lengthen out through this right side and then contract it all to jackknife the legs up, tap for that block. Then lower down with control, bring it back to that full body, lengthening out. If the full jackknife is too much for you, if you're like, Chelsea, this is crazy, I'm not ready for this, I'm not feeling it, I want you to bend your knees and pull your elbow in between your knees and then lengthen back out. Again, you can drop that block too. That would make it a little bit easier as well. But I do want you to challenge yourself. I do want you to give it your all. I do want you to try to push yourself a little bit. Maybe you go for 3. Maybe you just go for 3 and see if you can get 3 of them. Wherever you are, whatever you've chosen, give me 2 more of your best. Lengthen out. Last one. Whew. All right. Set yourself up for all of that. On the other side, I'm gonna spin myself around so that I can stay focused on y'all. That block is gonna come back towards the center of your mat. You're gonna come down to your little tricep, make that little pillow for your head, and then find length through your body. That block is gonna come underneath that knee. So you're gonna bring your left knee to that 90-degree bend this time, knee in line with your hip, and you're gonna set that block down so that you've got a little bit of elevation between the floor and your knee to keep your knee and your hip in line. Then you plant that left palm down into the mat in front of your rib cage. You brace everything nice and strong so that you can send that left leg long, lengthen out at 45. Don't let your hips tick back. Use that core engagement, then pull it back in, set it down, squeeze and lift. The demo one is always so much harder because I have to slow it down and show you in that slow motion what you're supposed to be doing, and then I lose it. That's all right. Lengthen out and bring it back in. We're all Works in progress. Nobody is at perfection. And we're not even striving for perfection. We're not striving for perfection at all. We're striving for consistency. We're striving for dedication, devotion to ourselves. We're striving to find practices that are sustainable for our lifestyles. This isn't some get thin quick solution. This is about connecting to yourself. This is about finding yourself in your physical body. This is about reconnecting to the movement that powers your life. Extend and bring it in. Squeeze and lift. Last one. Lengthen out. And then bring that knee back to the block. Now we just squeeze to lift and lower. You squeeze that inner thigh and you drop it back down. How high can you get that leg? Maybe it only comes up a few inches. Maybe it comes up more than that. You're using that core, you're bracing, and you're extending that leg as long as you can. You've got 4. You've got it. Last 3. Oof, spicy. Last 2. You can do it. And 1. And release. Oh my goodness. That inner thigh engagement will do it every time. All right. We've got those jackknives to finish it off, however you want to take them, either with the block, without the block, legs bent, legs extended. You take what you need, you meet yourself where you are today. That left arm reaches up overhead, nice and long, and then you squeeze your core, reach for that block, lower down, lengthen out, or you bend the knees, pull in and crunch and extend. Wherever you are, whatever option you're taking today, honor where you are at in your practice. Tell yourself how strong you are. Maybe this is a moment for you to remind yourself of how far you've come in your practice. Maybe you're just starting out and this is a gauge for you of where you want to go. Let this moment empower you for 3. Last 2. Lengthen out. And 1. And release. Ooh. All right. Set your block off to the side. We are done with it for now. We will need it again at the end to go through our little core burner, but for now, all you need are those dumbbells. Whatever size you are taking, whether you want 5 pounds, that's what I'm going with, 2s, 3s, you take what's right for you. We're gonna meet on our knees here. And you can always sit it back onto your heels. If this starts to get into your kneecaps, you could always flip your mat over, stuff something underneath your mat that makes it a little bit softer. You could double up, do whatever you need to do for yourself. We come up to our knees. Oof. All right, I'm good, all right. And we're gonna bring the palms facing up, 90-degree bend in your elbows. Elbows nice and tight to your ribs. You're gonna pull the weights apart and bring them together. Just open and close. Squeezing those biceps, you're just pulling the weights apart and bringing them back together, like you're sliding the back of your hands across an invisible surface. Open and close. We start to add a curl on in 2 and 1. Now we open up. You curl in at that 45-degree angle, lower down and close. Open, curl in, drop, and close. Yes. Find that focus on your biceps. Have a little fun with it. Maybe you crank your music up here. And focus in. You open, curl, release, and close. We're gonna switch that curl to the front in 2. And 1. Now we curl front, release, open, close, curl, drop, open, close. You squeeze those biceps, you burn it out. I am hurting right there with you. I'm suffering. It burns. Those biceps are getting stronger. We are building strength together. Open, close, curl. For 3. Last 2. And 1. Now hold it out at that 45 degree. We're gonna start to press and pull. Then you send it forward and pull. You take it 45, in, forward, in. Your spine is still nice and upright here. You lengthen out through that bicep, and then you pull it back in. You extend, pull, reach, pull, out, and forward for 4. Last 3. Whew. Last 2, we've got it. And 1. Hold it at that 45 degree angle. Press from right to left. Yes, right and left. Lengthen out through that bicep. You keep that core knit in nice and tight. We are strong. We are empowered. You've got 4. Reach. Last 3. Oof, it is burning. We've got 2. And 1. Bring it to center. We've got a little push here. You're just gonna make big circles with those dumbbells. Squeeze and curl and release. They're little bicep curl circles. Circling in and then out for 4. Find full range of motion through those shoulder heads. Last 2. And 1. And release. Oof, my goodness, spicy. All right, we are in the home stretch. We've got our core burner. We're gonna finish out with that. Grab your block if you're using one, if you have one. If not, I want you to just think of engaging between your palms. I want you to imagine that you are holding a block in between your palms here. So maybe the analogy today is like one of those, remember when you were a kid and we had those electromagnetic ball things where you could like put your finger on the ball and then you'd see like the little electricity going to your finger? Okay, so I want you to imagine that there's one of those balls in between your palms and that energy is going from palm to palm and you've got a hand on either side and that energy is just like electricity, like lightning from palm to palm. That's the kind of engagement that I want you to consider, to focus on when we are on our backs here. Your arms are gonna be up overhead and I want you to think about lightning between your palms. Okay, that was a lot of explanation considering you probably have a block. That's all right. You can still consider that analogy even with the block. We're gonna start off, let's go full body lengthening. what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bring that block in between our palms, and then you're gonna bring it all the way back behind your head without flaring your ribs open. Think of plugging those shoulder blades, think of plugging your arms into your shoulders. That's what I was trying to say. All right, you're gonna curl chin to chest, lift up head, neck, and shoulders. Then you're gonna lift all the way up, and reach it all the way up overhead. Then tuck chin to chest again to reach that block forward. Take a neck stretch over your feet. Then stack your spine, lift it back up overhead, biceps by your ears, and bone by bone, lower it down to the mat. You've got 5 more. You curl it up, you lift all the way up overhead, energy through that spine, flex your feet, chin to chest, reach it forward, neck stretch forward, then you stack it back up and lower it all down. Long movement, we've got 4 more. Curl it up, extend, reach it forward, then you stack that spine, find length, and lower down. Last 3. Lower it down. Whew. 2 more. Lift it up. Roll it forward. Stack that spine. Roll it down. 1 more. Make it your best. Make it the most connected that you have been to your body this whole class. Stack that spine and roll it all the way down. Lengthen out and release. We've got 1 little thing left here. You're gonna bring your legs to tabletop, and you're gonna bring that block in, tongue twister, bring the block in between your shins. Arms are gonna reach up, palms face towards your knees. You are gonna curl up your head, neck, and shoulders to bring those palms outside of your thighs, facing down, and then bone by bone, lower back down. Just curl it up and release. Curl and release. Keep those knees right over your hips. Don't let it pull forward. Don't drop that block. You've got 4. Last 3. 2. And 1. Now bring that block. We're gonna have a little bit of fun here. And disclaimer, if the block falls and hits you, I'm sorry. But it's gonna be on one of your feet, and we're gonna send it up to the ceiling. Whoop. We're gonna try and have a little fun here. Block on your foot. Lengthen up to the ceiling. Let's see if we can do it. Stabilize. Ah! The goal eventually, let's try the left foot. Maybe we can do it together. The goal eventually is to stabilize through that foot, through the leg, through the core, and extend all the way up without dropping the block. Did pretty good on that left side. That was your little burner there. That was your finisher. A little bit of fun today. Let's bring ourselves to a nice, comfortable seated position. We'll take a few breaths together, sitting up nice and tall. Release anything out. Release any tension from your shoulders. Let's take 3 deep breaths all together. Inhale. And exhale, release. Again, big breath in, inhale. And exhale. One more, inhale. And exhale, release. Amazing job. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments below. Subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye.